Hey folks, today we're talking about ground cloths for your tent. The cheap ones. Stick around. Okay, so sometimes, you're going to want a ground cloth for your tent. And what they're really for is just to protect the floor of your tent. And, some tents don't come with ground cloths. I think some tents really don't need it because they have a pretty durable floor. But for a little extra protection and to make the floor on your tent last a little bit longer, ground cloths might not be a bad idea. They weigh a little bit more, so you're going to have to figure that out in if you want to carry it or not. So let's review a few of them. I have 3 of them here. The first one is a Polycryo. Really thin plastic. Polycryo plastic. You see right through this thing. But it's surprisingly really durable. What they use this stuff for is for shrink wrap weatherproofing your windows. We used to use these when I was years ago in our house. You can buy this for what, 10 bucks? They're really cheap. And they're really light. They weigh about 1.5 ounces to maybe like 4 ounces. I put a little duct tape on the corner of mine. You don't need to do that really, but I punched a little hole in there so I have some tie outs and tie it down. If you tie down stuff, that's a good thing to do. If not, just leave it off. The second one I want to talk about is this weed barrier that you can get from a hardware store or a gardening store. If it can keep out weeds, it should protect the bottom of my tent pretty well, right? So that's what I thought. Now this was a scrap that I had left over from some gardening work that I was doing. You see it's pretty thin, but it's pretty tough. Weeds don't get through this thing. Sticks won't break it very easily. Again, I put a little duct tape on the corners here, a little tie out. You don't really need to do that. You can buy a roll of this for probably about 20 bucks. Or you can just use a scrap like this. And this will weigh in at about 5 or 6 ounces. So not too bad, right? I like mine. And I forgot to tell you, some of those weed barrier cloths, sometimes they have herbicides in them. And so be careful what you buy. Make sure you know what you're buying, because herbicides out in the wild, not good. Breaking the leave no trace principles, don't want to do that. So check it out before you buy that. And then one of the more popular ones, Tyvek. Right? Tyvek is used as a moisture barrier on houses, so this is construction grade stuff. It's really tough. It weighs a little bit more than the rest of them. You're going to have about 6, maybe 7 ounces worth of Tyvek with you on yours. Maybe a little bit less if you have a small tent. But it's pretty noisy. Right? So if you get into camp late, you might be waking some people up trying to set up your tent. Or if you get up early and leave, with all this crinkling around, you might disturb people sleeping. So a way to do that is to put it in your washer, wash it a few times even, put it in your dryer a few times, maybe with some tennis balls. It gets less crinky with use. And so if you can accelerate the use by washing and drying it, it'll keep out the noise. And this you'll end up paying around 10 bucks if you just buy the sheet. If you buy the kit with some grommets, like I have here, I have these little grommets on the end of this, and they're kind of nice. You pay for a kit maybe 25 bucks. And just like with the rest of them, you cut it down to size, you put the grommets on, put these little tie outs if you want, and there you have it. Pretty cheap options. So if you like these little videos with tips in them and stuff like that, just let me know. And leave comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends, like. We'll see you next time.